Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm just getting ready to update the plastics and graphics on my bike, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Yes, Hunter Lawrence, the factory HRC rider, told me deliberately to case a jump. It was in effort to learn something and overcoming fear, building up confidence, and just all around becoming better on a dirt bike. It was a really fun experience at a Moto Academy class by the infamous AJ Catanzaro, and I had a great time. Learned a ton of stuff, and honestly, it was like a once-in-a-lifetime experience to learn from a factory rider like that. AJ had a lot of great input as well. Everything from this class and stuff that I've learned from the Moto Academy over the past year or so has helped me tremendously. So I wanted to share this video with you guys. It's a GoPro perspective of me attending this class. So we work on ruts, shifting, braking, jumping, all the basics, and getting the insight from these two guys honestly couldn't get any better. So let's head over to that class. I'm gonna put stickers on things now. Is slimy.
All right, so what I teach first, attack position. I know it sounds silly, I know it sounds obvious, but when we teach this from the feet to the head is the way that I do it. It is everything when you ride a dirt bike. It is absolutely everything. You have essentially two positions. You have your stand-up position and your sit-down position. There's nothing weird going on in between. If you can learn how to transition from one to the other and be really solid and stable and neutral within those two positions, you'll be amazed how fast you can go without ever having to try and go fast. That's the beauty of it.
Feel way better. You know, it's going to help the handling of your rear end, because if you're on your arches, right, your toes are out, like you said, your knees are not engaged and holding the bike, especially on like 450s, 250s. Little bikes not as much, but it's a great habit to start. Is the more you hold your bike, the more control and like feedback you're going to get. So like this section here where it's kind of slippery coming in, and honestly the whole track, the more you grip with your knees, the more planted, and your bike's not gonna be doing this, because when it's doing this, it's so uncomfortable and it feels really bad. So the more you can keep that, you know, knees locked, I think that's one of the biggest things, and it's one of the first things my dad taught Jet and I was grip with your knees. You know, the more you grip with the knees, it's gonna help everything so much, you know.
If you're not holding on with your knees, what are you holding on with? Your arms, which is the worst thing you can do. You have less strength, you have less control, you'll begin to get arm pump. You're muscling the bike around, so the movements you're making are forced. It looks wrong, it looks forced, it's going to feel forced, you're going to get arm pump. You really should be riding basically from here down. That control is coming from essentially core, belly button down. The grip strength, the hips allowing that bike to do what it needs to do, the upper body, and we're going to talk about this a lot later when we work corners, and Jet and Hunter are, in my opinion, the two best at this, is upper body stability. That upper body stays, doesn't move really. Only I'll pull you guys off in the same spot, and then after that we're going to break into two groups and start doing some section work stuff.
Whoever can stand up for the whole 8 minutes, I'll be very impressed, because I remember
8 minutes will feel like a while, so don't get too discouraged.
wear it out.
I would highlight Ryan a little bit as well, just because he's a good personality.
You hear that? I got personality.
Over exaggerate it to break that habit. Because when you're riding now, it's just when you go to pick up a knife and fork, it's a habit, you know? So you gotta, when we're trying to break a habit, we would over accentuate something. So as kids, something we worked on was looking through the corner. So you come into a corner and look through. So for 2 weeks, we would come into the corner and we'd look to the exit. You like over accentuate it so that then when you go to ride normal, you're not doing it as extreme, but you're looking to where you need to be, you know? So same thing with balls of your feet, because it is better. It just perfects your stand and you can enjoy so much. Now, like those little jumps, the one out the back, this one, so many are landing 1 yard, 2 yards short of the down ramp. Like he's literally almost clearing the jump. You just need a little more. And when you feel confident that when you land on the top, the bike's not gonna do this, it all starts with your feet position. Because as soon as you're on the balls of your feet and you point your toes in, you like wedge them in, your knees are just gonna be clamped like a vice, you know? So you can land on top and you're not gonna have to worry about, like I could case anything here and have relaxed arms, but as long as my legs are strong on the bike and gripping the bike, it's not gonna do anything. You know, you're as safe as, so.
Be patient, because what I will say is the section we're going to work involves a lot of different things. So you're going to have to think about quite a bit. The main focus, we're gonna talk about this rut, the doubles, the entry. The loop you're gonna do is after the second double, you're gonna allow yourself to run off straight for a little bit and then do a 180, and then you can come back in.
Line would you guys want to take? Looking at this corner, you know, what line do you guys kind of gravitate to? Is it the middle, outside, inside? Like what one do you feel best on? Outside?
This one? Outside.
Majority, everyone outside? Who's inside? If you guys inside? Okay.
All right, real quick. If you guys go in this rut here, raise your hand. All right, if you guys go in this rut here, the middle rut, raise your hand. Interesting. If you guys go in this rut here, the far inside one, raise your hand. Okay, so it's almost an even split.
Yeah, even spread. All right, which there's nothing wrong with that. All I'm trying to figure out is how many are kind of like a little daunted. It's not scared, but like a little nervous of the big rut, you know, which is a quite, I think, easiest one. You know, the outside and inside are the best ones. But what I'd love to do is the first, we'll do 3 laps of it. I want you to try, when you finish your braking, have your finger on the front brake ever so slightly, and me and Jet do it a ton, is we drag the front brake like this much, just a little bit, and what we find that does is it's the massive difference of having our front wheel up here, which is scary, even for me, because it just has to go that much further, and having our front brake dragging, it's going to keep the front wheel down here.
Let that inside elbow cave and he fell inside of the bike. Our head should never end up inside of the bike.
His feet were good, feet was really good. The only thing I was thinking as well is he had no finger on the clutch. So if that bike was to go a little, and you had no way of stopping it, so that's your mistake fixer. Yeah. Everyone.
All right, here we go. Time to embarrass ourselves in front of everybody. It's gonna be great. Will I fall over? Probably so.
Because that one you messed up, but you actually kind of got out of it okay. You're doing a great job of leaving your feet on the pegs, which I like.
Okay.
But your inside knee is going straight street bike style on me. You disconnect it
Bring
from
it
the
in.
shroud every single time. Loose with the hips, tight with the knees.
Okay.
Give the bike wiggle like this. Oh my god. But don't disconnect your knees.
Oh dear. One-handed drill time.
Comfortable with moving, just hold the bar so you do.
Yes, sir.
So, first, second, third, like this, right? You can lock, so first, second, third, and then like that, okay? That's all it is. To get comfortable, further forward, and then back. That's all this exercise is.
We've never done this drill before. Hunter just either made it up or maybe he did it before. But I don't think anybody understands what he meant.
Everybody's doing it crushingly.
Everyone is doing it differently.
Differently.
I've seen one dude actually downshift.
Okay, on a scale of bad to really bad, how bad has 87 been today?
Well, the goggle situation has been pretty bad,
Oh, that was prime.
but the rest you're doing fine. You're doing just fine. You
Okay.
look just like me. The bike looks sick. It's,
That's
you know,
all that matters.
It's going with the theme,
Yeah,
you know.
we're getting the factory Honda team out here.
Yeah, we're dialed. We're dialed.
Left side go right, left side go left.
Let's see if I can go in a straight line.
Is everyone jumping these two, more or less? I know you were coming up a little short on this one.
Yeah.
And this one, are you getting this one now?
Yeah.
You good? Alright, cool. Good job, good job. All I'm worried about, you know, is just making sure I'm not like having to at the last minute up the up ramp, because it's obviously really slippery and that I don't want it to slide out. One thing I think I want you guys to do is we're gonna start on the first like wall jump scrub thing. We're gonna all stop there, and one at a time I want you to roll down, and then at the bottom of the up ramp just gas it, jump up, and then I want you to land on the face. And what I want you to do is, let's not waste our time and just jump and land and then go again. I want you to really focus on landing on the face strong. Okay, so I'm not going to teach you how to jump, I'm going to teach you how to case it, or how to land strong and safely, because that Supercross, everything we do, when you're trying a new jump, either you grease it or you over jump it or case it. So you need to know how to land strong, all right? So it's the same position we've been going on about all day, kind of on the balls of your feet, strong knees, gripping with the bike with your knees and elbows up. So when you land, like that, okay? Like in a strong position. So that's the biggest thing. They can jump it too with that simple tool. It's so simple. It's so simple. You know, anyone can do it. Like, I even think the little girl in the 65, like, she could do this tabletop, because it's just halfway, right, little more. Slippery, so just you don't
Just gas it.
give that big old chicken wing a, because that thing's lethal. These things are sketchy on this stuff. Like I would rather a 250 on this track all day long.
Yeah.
So nice and smooth, nice and smooth. Think Dungey, smooth, you know.
What happens when you film videos with AJ. He just steals your bike whenever he needs to.
Myself, put weight into that outside foot like big time, and that would be the only thing I would think about from here out. So you guys shouldn't be, especially when we're doing section work, we should be thinking about those little things and then trying to like recognize what difference it's making, right? If we're just kind of aimlessly spinning laps, or especially when we're doing section work, and not observing anything that's going on, then what are we doing out there? When you ride with a purpose, whether you're doing motos or free riding with your buddies or doing section work, drills, think about what's going on, observe what's going on, and just like, it creates full understanding. Like a good rider, the highest level of rider, understands everything about what's going on at all times. And then when you have full understanding, then it becomes muscle memory because you practice that full understanding enough. The problem with a lot of you guys, and this is pretty much every rider that exists, is that we don't know everything yet. So we're kind of just like, things are happening and we're reacting to things and we don't know what's going on. Like we end up crashing and we don't know why. We jump sideways and we have no idea why, or we rail a turn perfect and we don't know why, so we can't replicate it. The more you learn, the more we think about what's going on, the more intentional we are with what we're doing. It'll just like, it's compounding. So you just will forever get better and smarter and more safe. I don't care if you're 50 years old. I mean, you could still, in the next 10 years before you're 60, you can learn quite a bit and become significantly a better rider.
It's going to make us all a lot better riders, and I think the love for the sport and riding your bike will get even stronger once you get better and better, because you're going to be able to do more things that, you know, you have fun on or have fun with, like jumping, etc. Certain tracks that are difficult, you know. So appreciate everyone's patience. You know, obviously their hard work. You know, it's easy for us to sit here and tell you guys to do something, you know. So at the end of the day, you're the ones that make it happen. So keep working hard and being patient. It'll come.